What's going on YouTube? Welcome to the channel. Today I got a video that's a lot different than what I normally dive into on this channel. I'm either talking about hip hop or fashion, but today I'm going to be talking about my barber's rash story and how I was finally able to get rid of them. The medical term for barber's rash is Acne Keloidalis Nuchae. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna mess that up, or I probably already did mess it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it short by saying either barber's rash or BR. I don't wanna keep f***ing it up. All through my life, from preschool to kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, I never had those bumps on the back of my head. I graduated high school in 2014, and I can say without a doubt that they developed between 2015 and 2021. The crazy thing is that I don't remember my first couple of bumps. It wasn't like I had like 3 or 4 weird bumps on the back of my head that got my attention and I could just ensure that no more appeared by just going to a doctor. I really don't remember how they just originated on my head, you know what I'm saying? Barber's rash can happen with any group of people, but black men, you know what I'm saying, we are the most susceptible to them, in large part because of the texture of our hair. We generally have curly hair, which has the highest potential to develop into those bumps. As the hairs curl back into the skin, they can cause inflammation, and also having barbers who don't really have the best cleaning procedures for their instruments will aggravate your skin even more. I've always been a confident person. I ain't scared of shit. I ain't never wished I was someone else, but when you deal with barber's rash, you just want to hide. I hid by growing out my hair. Growing up, I always used to cut my hair low, but when I had barber's rash, that's when I started to grow my hair out, because I didn't want people to see it, because like it gives off such a weird message that you're unclean or you don't care about hygiene. That was never the case for me. For all of you cats out there who are bald and can't hide, and maybe you just forgot your hat that one day, my heart goes out to you, man. This shit is serious. Whenever I would go to a dermatologist, they would just prescribe me creams that wouldn't do anything for me. I probably tried every cream on the market and they did absolutely nothing, and I can't stress that enough. I was always optimistic, like, okay, what if this works one day? But I would always be let down at the end of the day. I remember one time I went to a doctor, this Indian cat, no disrespect to all the Indians out there, you know what I'm saying? I gave him the whole story on my barber's rash, and he looked at me and was like, it's okay, just keep it.
Are you dumb?
Like, what the f do you mean just keep it? Like, did you hear anything I just said? Like, this is like a common theme that doctors would just keep doing. Like, when he said that to me, I wanted to like Shang Tsung snatch his soul from him after that. Like, it just didn't make any sense. It always, whenever I'd go to a doctor, I always felt like they felt like I was supposed to be in that position. Like I deserved this somehow, because they just was not hearing me. I would also watch a bunch of YouTube videos and I would get an idea for a new cream, and then the cream wouldn't do shit. By the grace of God, you know, everything finally began to change when I met the great Dr. Johnny Woodson. Before my appointment with him, I had no idea what to expect. I was sitting in the room all nervous, hoping that something good will come out of this appointment, because I had been let down so many times by these horror awful ass doctors. When he walked in, I was shocked to see, number one, that he was black. Whenever I went to a doctor in the past, they were never black, so that was like alarming to me in a good way. All the other dermatologists I ran into in the past were white, Indian, white, Hispanic, Asian, white, and white again. One time I saw a dermatologist whose name was Lucius. So I'm assuming, okay, he's gonna be black because, you know, Lucius, right? Homie walked in looking like the grandpa from Hey Arnold. Like, it was crazy. When Dr. Woodson walked in, the thing that let me know that I would be okay, the sign that God gave me to let me know that everything will be alright, like the Kendrick Lamar song, was the fact that homie came in wearing my favorite shoes ever. Homie walked in wearing some all-white, low-top Air Force Ones. They were beaters, but that was crazy to me. When I saw that, I'm like, okay, he's the one. You know what I'm saying? Pause, of course, but he's the one. You know what I'm saying? When I told Dr. Woodson about my story of dealing with barber's rash, he actually listened to me. His eyes were glued to me the whole time when I was talking, and he didn't push me to the side. He cared about what I was going through, not just because we were both black, but because he also dealt with barber's rash before in his life. So he was very familiar with it. He kept reassuring me that everything would be okay and that he had a plan for me. He put me on daily creams as well as giving me like monthly injections on my barber's rash. We were gonna do this routine for like 3 months, right? And if after that time I didn't see the results that I was looking for, then the next option was surgery. I was super optimistic about the barber's rash treatment because I never had a dermatologist that actually took me serious. I never got this far. Growing up, I always heard my dad and my sister and my mom and some OGs in my life, Dr. Umar, people like that always talk about the importance of having people that look like you in higher places. I never understood what that truly meant until I met Dr. Woodson. We need more lawyers, doctors, engineers, judges, professors that look like us and are all about the prosperity of our people without being sellouts. Like I always say, we are more than just athletes. We're more than just entertainers. We can do anything that we want to do. I gotta shout out my big little sister, my slime, aka 3 degrees, for making it into medical school and handling her business, because people shouldn't be shocked to see black excellence, man. So I'm proud of you, shorty. So after the 3 months treatment, the bumps I noticed did get smaller, but it wasn't like crazy progress. So as promised, Dr. Woodson referred me to a surgical dermatologist that he was friends with. Even though Dr. Woodson's treatment for me didn't work the best, I love that he had a plan at least. I was extremely happy to go to my appointments to chop it up with him. We talk about sports, hip hop, medicine, college, all that, man. He's a really dope dude. When I was trying to set up my appointment for my surgery, the doctor's office that he sent me to was sketchy as hell. They were located in a very good area, and they didn't have time for anyone who wasn't making like 6 figures a year, it seemed like. Finally, Dr. Woodson put in the OG call for me, and they finally put me on a schedule. On the day of my surgery, I remember the doctor's office calling me to reschedule my appointment time because, they wanted to make room for their more important clients. They kept calling to move the times, and I was just so nervous that day because I'm like, yo, could this barber's rash, could this finally be over? Before I went in for my surgery, I made sure my barber cut my hair in a way that allowed them to do their job without my hair getting in the way. I basically just got a boosie fade, making sure the sides and the back was cool so they can just operate, do their thing. But before they started, they did like little markings on the area just so they know where to operate. They numbed the area and then they shaved each bump down to the root. It was better that they did it that way because if they would have cut out the entire area, it would have left a very nasty scar on the back of my head, which I didn't want. So I'm glad they did it that way. When they were all done, they put all the bumps in a jar full of like this type of greenish liquid to be evaluated to make sure that it wasn't cancer or anything like that. When they got done, the back of my head looked like I got scraped or burned. The entire procedure took maybe like 2 hours, and I'm so thankful to God that I was up out of there. I was instructed to keep the back of my head moist with bacitracin or like Vaseline, something like that, and to use this thick ass wrap daily. I also had to go in to do radiation therapy on the affected area because radiation was supposed to like diminish the possibility of the bumps ever coming back. Even though radiation was good for me, when you do it, there's a high possibility that your hair in that area will not grow back or will take a long time growing back. I wasn't tripping because the way I cut my hair, the sides and the back are normally straight, so if I gotta keep on recutting my hair, I'm all good with it. Like right now, when I feel the back of my head, like, like I literally feel hairs back there. It's slow to grow back, but I feel them there. And even if it doesn't grow back fully, like I said before, like I'm straight on that. The barber's rash is gone. That's all I cared about. The overall healing process went pretty well though. My wound used to get really bloody when I would change my head wrap, but the bleeding soon stopped. The area over time went from like reddish orange to like white looking to eventually matching with my skin tone. The back of your head itching after you get the surgery is a great sign that you're healing. But you gotta remember that if you keep itching the area like I was, it sets your healing back. Whenever I would itch, it felt so good. Like I can't even explain it to you, but I knew that I'll be prolonging the whole process. My wound, and all, it took like maybe 8 months to heal. It looks great back there, man. My barber's rash now is like a distant memory to me. Barber's rash is such a devastating thing to go through, and the chances are you've most likely seen somebody outside who has it. I believe that the key to 100% get rid of it is to go and do surgery, whether they shave it down to the root like me, or they cut out everything. Remember that will leave a scar. You pick whatever you want. Just go get some type of surgery done, man. If there's anyone out there who without a doubt can attest to having gotten rid of them with creams, God bless you. You're one of the only blacks out there to get rid of it. Congratulations. But for the majority of us, who developed this, the creams don't work at all. Get your health insurance game up and try to get a dermatologist. Try to see one who's gonna just take care of you. Most importantly, just listen to what you have to say. Dr. Woodson was black like me. He was a little lighter, but you guys get it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that any other doctor wouldn't be good because they're not black, but in my personal experience, as a melanin abundant man, Dr. Woodson being black and being someone who went through it himself was a huge factor in helping me. Oftentimes, people who don't look like you, who haven't gone through similar things that you've gone through, just can't relate. Even if they want to, they just can't. I gotta shout out Dr. Woodson again because you were the instrument that God used to help me get rid of these, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. I'm petty as hell, so I'm not gonna be shouting out the surgeon because if it wasn't for Dr. Woodson helping me and stepping in, putting in that OG call for me, I would have still been waiting on them to schedule my appointment for me. I also gotta thank my wifey, my shorty, for holding me down. She's a phenomenal woman. She's always right there for me. You know what I'm saying? She would make my wound cares for me. She was always positive when I would look in the mirror and I felt like my head wasn't healing properly. So thank you so much, Queen. I love you. I gotta thank the greatest one, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for orchestrating everything and placing different people in my path to help me. This video was extremely important for me to make because I know the feeling of dealing with Barber's rash. There's hope for you, you know what I'm saying? Just don't stop searching. I know some of you cats out there are watching this video and never thought that beneath the afro I was dealing with this shit, you know what I'm saying? But you really never know. You can never judge a book by its cover. If you watch a YouTube video and they telling you to get creams, turn that shit off and watch my shit instead, you know what I'm saying? That'll be the best decision you ever make. Anyone trying to come to Vegas to see Dr. Woodson, I hate to say it, but homie just recently retired or something. If you call the number to the website, it won't work. Hopefully I can get homie to watch this video though, you know what I'm saying, because he was extremely helpful to me. And I hope this video is helpful to a lot of you cats out there. Don't ever stop believing that the barber's rash will go away, because it will go away. If you have any questions for me or any statements, whatever, get in the comment section. If you're too embarrassed, hit me up on Instagram. I'm saying like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at I'm Hurrikane Isaac 95. I'm out. Peace.